Welcome back to our channel, where we dive deep into the heart-stopping drama of your favorite daytime soap. Today is a thrilling day to unpack the explosive fallout from the French Riviera, as the sunny skies of Monaco have given way to a terrifying storm in Los Angeles. Let us explore the devastating consequences of a shattered marriage and a mother's ultimate protective instinct. The Mediterranean breeze of Monaco was supposed to be the catalyst for a romantic renaissance, a desperate attempt to salvage a marriage suffocating under the weight of dark secrets. Instead, the picturesque European coastline became the graveyard of Steffy Forrester Finnegan's trust in her husband, John Finn Finnegan. The moment Steffi's sharp eyes locked onto the sinister silhouette of Sheila Carter lurking in the shadows of the Monte Carlo sun, the fairy tale violently shattered. The horrifying realization that Finn had knowingly shared a commercial flight with his murderous biological mother, striking a secret, twisted pact of silence, triggered a cataclysmic psychological collapse within Steffi. The wedding ring she hurled at him before fleeing on the first flight back to Los Angeles was not just a piece of jewelry. It was a heavy, definitive physical manifestation of a broken vow. Upon her return to the sprawling metropolis of Los Angeles, Steffi is no longer just a heartbroken wife. She is a deeply traumatized mother operating on pure, unadulterated survival instinct. The severe post-traumatic stress disorder that has haunted her ever since she was left bleeding out in a dark alleyway by Sheila's gun has now fully consumed her waking reality. Every shadow in the Cliff House feels like a looming threat, every sudden noise a potential gunshot. The sanctuary where she and Finn once built their dreams of a happily ever after has been tainted by the undeniable truth. Finn's empathetic flaw, his inexplicable inability to completely sever ties with the woman who tried to murder them, has rendered their home a dangerous liability. Steffi realizes with chilling clarity that she can no longer rely on her husband to protect their family. She must become the ultimate shield. Driven by this primal maternal terror, Steffi makes the agonizing but necessary decision to officially separate from Finn. However, this is not a mere pause in their relationship. It is a declaration of absolute war against the looming threat of Sheila Carter. Steffi immediately files the legal paperwork for sole, unmitigated physical and legal custody of their young son, Hayes Forrester Finnegan. The legal documents are drafted with cold, surgical precision by the most ruthless family law attorneys in Los Angeles, explicitly outlining Finn's dangerous connection to a known, violent psychopath as the primary justification for severing his parental access. Steffi's legal strike is designed to be an impenetrable barrier, legally forbidding Finn from approaching Hayes until he can definitively prove he is no longer under the toxic, manipulative spell of his biological mother. To enforce this legal barricade, Steffi physically transforms the iconic Cliff House into an impenetrable, militarized fortress. The serene sound of the crashing Pacific waves is now accompanied by the heavy, rhythmic footsteps of a strictly vetted, highly trained private security detail. Armed guards patrol the perimeter of the property around the clock, their earpieces buzzing with constant surveillance updates. State-of-the-art security cameras monitor every conceivable angle, while the front gate remains locked down with uncompromising rigidity. Steffi has effectively isolated herself and her children behind a wall of steel and muscle, sending a clear, undeniable message to the world, to Sheila, and most importantly, to Finn. No one crosses this threshold without her explicit authorization, and Finn's authorization has been permanently revoked. The psychological toll of this transformation is immense. Inside the fortified walls of the Cliff House, Steffi paces the hardwood floors, her mind a whirlwind of grief, anger, and hypervigilance. She is mourning the loss of the man she thought Finn was, the steadfast, protective doctor who promised to put her first above all others. Yet, the betrayal in Monaco proved that his blood tie to Sheila is a fatal vulnerability that she simply cannot afford to indulge. Every time she looks at little Hayes, her resolve hardens into an unbreakable diamond. She will gladly endure the profound agony of a shattered heart if it means ensuring that Sheila Carter never gets within 100 miles of her son. The fortress is as much a prison for her own sorrow as it is a shield against the outside world. Meanwhile, a frantic and deeply remorseful Finn arrives back in Los Angeles. Having rushed onto a commercial flight the moment he realized the catastrophic magnitude of his mistake. He drives straight to the Cliff house, desperate to fall to his knees, to beg for forgiveness, and to promise that he will finally do whatever it takes to fix their broken bond. But the welcome he receives is not one of tearful reconciliation. Instead, he is met by the cold, unyielding stare of armed security guards blocking the heavy iron gates. The horrifying reality washes over him like a bucket of ice water. He has been locked out of his own home, banished from the life he built, and separated from the child he loves more than breathing. Standing outside the impenetrable fortress, Finn experiences a profound and agonizing emotional breakdown. The sheer gravity of Steffy's actions hits him with the force of a speeding freight train. He is not just in the doghouse. He has been legally and physically exiled from his own family. The realization that his misguided empathy for Sheila, his foolish belief that he could manage his mother's dark obsession with a secret pact, has cost him his entire world brings him to his knees on the pavement. The physical pain in his chest is suffocating as he stares at the high-definition security cameras, knowing Steffy is likely watching him from inside, her heart hardened against his desperate pleas. He is a man who has lost everything in a single, fatal lapse of judgment. Completely shattered and having nowhere else to turn, Finn seeks refuge with the only person who might understand the complex, terrifying web of Sheila Carter, his adoptive mother, Lee Finnegan. He arrives at the hospital, his medical coat rumpled, his eyes red and hollow with unshed tears and sleepless nights. In the quiet solitude of an empty office, Finn collapses into Lee's arms, pouring out the entire disastrous story of the Monaco trip, the secret flight, the explosive confrontation on the beach, and the horrifying reality of the armed guards currently surrounding his home. He begs Lee for guidance, for help, for any possible solution to penetrate the fortress Steffy has built around her heart and their son. Lee Finnegan's reaction is a complex, heartbreaking mixture of profound maternal sorrow and bitter, undeniable vindication. She had warned Finn, repeatedly and fiercely, about the inherent, incurable danger of allowing Sheila Carter even a fraction of an inch into his life. She had explicitly told him that appeasing a psychopath would only lead to absolute destruction. Now, as she holds her broken son, the bitter taste of "I told you so" is swallowed by her fierce desire to protect him from further pain. Lee shares Steffy's intense, burning hatred for Sheila, understanding exactly why the Forrester CEO has taken such draconian measures to secure her family. Yet, seeing Finn in such absolute agony tears at Lee's soul, leaving her agonizingly torn between validating Steffy's protective instincts and trying to save her son's sanity. Driven by her fierce, unconditional love for Finn, Lee attempts to intervene on his behalf. She reaches out to Steffy, hoping to appeal to the history they share and the mutual love they have for Little Hayes. Lee tries to advocate for a sliver of compromise, suggesting that while the intense security measures are entirely justified, completely severing a devoted father from his son might cause irreparable psychological damage to everyone involved. However, Steffy's response is a wall of absolute, freezing ice. She respects Lee, but she refuses to yield a single inch. Steffy makes it unequivocally clear that this is no longer a matter of marital discord. It is a matter of life and death. As long as Finn harbors even a microscopic shred of sympathy for the woman who shot them, he is a dangerous liability, and Steffy will not negotiate with the safety of her children. The shockwaves of this marital implosion quickly spread beyond the Cliff house, dragging the entire Forrester family into a fiery, volatile dispute. Ridge Forrester, already consumed by an all-out corporate and personal war against the Spencer family, erupts in a blinding flash of paternal rage upon learning of Finn's betrayal in Monaco. Ridge has always been fiercely protective of Steffy, and the knowledge that Finn allowed Sheila to stalk his daughter across the globe pushes Ridge to the absolute brink of violence. He fully endorses Steffy's decision to hire the security team, even offering to double the guard detail using Forrester Creations' vast financial resources. Ridge views Finn not just as a failed husband, but as an active, breathing threat to his daughter's physical and mental well-being. The Forrester family closes ranks around Steffy, forming an impenetrable human shield that mirrors the physical fortress of the Cliff House. Eric Forrester, despite his own recent health and corporate struggles, stands firmly behind his granddaughter's decision to file for sole custody. The family recognizes the severe, lingering trauma Steffy suffers from the alleyway shooting, and they unanimously agree that Finn's inexplicable weakness for Sheila is a luxury Steffy cannot afford to tolerate. The glamorous, high-stakes world of Forrester Creations is temporarily overshadowed by this gritty, terrifying battle for family security, as the Forresters unite to ensure that Sheila Carter's toxic legacy is permanently severed from their bloodline. However, the conflict does not remain contained within the Forrester dynasty. The drastic, militarized changes at the Cliff House inevitably drag the Spencer family into the fiery crosshairs of the dispute. Liam Spencer, as the father of Steffy's daughter Kelly, becomes deeply and aggressively involved in the situation. When Liam learns about the armed guards and the absolute lockdown of the property, his immediate instinct is to protect his child at all costs. Liam has never trusted Finn's ability to handle Sheila, and this latest betrayal in Monaco validates every fear Liam ever harbored. He aligns himself entirely with Steffy's draconian security measures, frequently visiting the Cliff House to ensure Kelly's safety and reinforcing the narrative that Finn has catastrophically failed his fundamental duty as a protector. The involvement of the Spencers adds a highly combustible layer of tension to the already explosive scenario. Bill Spencer, the ruthless patriarch of the Spencer family, weighs in with his signature Machiavellian pragmatism. Despite his current, intense corporate war with Ridge Forrester over Hope's defection to Logan Creations, Bill finds himself in strange, unspoken agreement with the Forresters regarding family protection. Bill believes that if a man cannot neutralize a threat to his family, he deserves to be cut off without hesitation. This bizarre alignment between the warring Forrester and Spencer factions creates a massive, unified front against Finn, isolating the young doctor completely. The legal and emotional battle over Hayes becomes a proxy war, amplifying the deep-seated rivalries and alliances that define the Los Angeles elite. Backed into a corner, completely isolated from his family, and facing the terrifying reality of losing his son forever, Finn finally manages to secure a face-to-face meeting with Steffy. The confrontation does not take place in the warm, sunlit living room of their home, but rather in the sterile, emotionally vacant environment of a high-powered attorney's conference room. The air between them is thick with shattered dreams, unspoken grief, and a palpable, suffocating tension. Steffy sits across from him, her posture rigid, her eyes reflecting a cold, hardened determination that Finn has never seen before. She is no longer the woman who playfully teased him on the beach. She is a warrior queen defending her castle, and she is about to deliver a blow that will change the trajectory of their lives forever. With a voice that does not tremble, Steffy lays down the absolute, uncompromising law. She delivers a devastating ultimatum that leaves no room for negotiation, no space for secret pacts, and no tolerance for empathetic flaws. "If you want to be a father to Hayes," Steffy declares, her words cutting through the sterile silence like a surgical scalpel, "you have to choose. It is either me, your wife, and the son we created together, or it is the murderous biological mother who tried to put us both in the ground." Steffy's demand is absolute. She requires Finn to publicly, legally, and emotionally sever every conceivable tie to Sheila Carter. There can be no supervised visits, no secret text messages, no lingering hopes of redemption. He must eradicate Sheila from his existence, or Steffy will eradicate him from Hayes' life. The sheer, agonizing weight of Steffy's harshness pushes Finn to a terrifying dead end. He is trapped in a psychological nightmare, forced to confront the darkest, most complicated corners of his own soul. The biological pull he feels toward the woman who gave birth to him is something he has never fully understood, a toxic thread woven into his DNA that has brought nothing but pain and destruction. Yet, the love he has for Steffy and Hayes is the very foundation of his chosen life. The profound tragedy of his situation is that any choice he makes requires a brutal, traumatic amputation of a part of his identity. He is a healer by profession, a man who has dedicated his life to saving others. But he is now faced with a choice that will inevitably cause profound, irreversible damage to his own heart. This agonizing dilemma creates a deep, seemingly unbridgeable chasm, not only between Steffy and Finn, but between the sprawling Forrester and Spencer families who have been dragged into the fray. The legal battle for sole custody looms like a dark storm cloud over Los Angeles, promising to unearth past traumas and ignite new, violent conflicts. The Cliff House, once a beacon of modern romance and familial warmth, now stands as a grim, heavily guarded monument to the destructive power of secrets and the devastating consequences of misplaced empathy. The armed guards pacing the perimeter are a constant, chilling reminder that love is sometimes not enough to conquer the demons of the past, especially when those demons were the face of Sheila Carter. As the days turn into weeks, the tension reaches an absolute, suffocating peak. Finn stands at the precipice of the most heartbreaking decision of his entire existence. Will he find the strength to sever the biological tie forever, signing away any hope of a relationship with his mother to reclaim his place in the fortress Steffy has built? Or will the psychological pressure of the ultimatum break him completely, causing him to lose his child forever and cementing the tragic downfall of the romance they fought so hard to build? The entire fashion world, the warring dynasties, and a lurking, obsessed Sheila Carter watch with bated breath, knowing that Finn's ultimate choice will send catastrophic shockwaves through the very foundation of their interconnected lives, forever altering the landscape of their futures.